Why do people travel? People travel to experience the world around them and to see different cultures. There are several different types of accommodations while traveling. Most people choose to stay in hotels, but some stay in youth hostels. Staying in a youth hostel is not for everyone, but is definitely worth trying. Imagine yourself in a college dorm. You have roommates, common areas, and a shared kitchen. Many successful hostels also have bars, restaurants, hip lounge areas, and pools. Over the years of traveling on a low budget, I've been to many youth hostels. The first hostel was established in 1909 by a German school teacher who saw the need for cheap overnight accommodations for young people. After World War II, people from around the world saw the need for increased cultural interaction to help prevent another devastating war from occurring. They addressed this problem by creating more youth hostels. Youth hostels are a great place to meet people and experience different cultures. One of the best parts about hostels is how affordable they are compared to staying in a regular hotel. For example, the cheapest room at the Marriott in the center of Paris, France will cost you about $140 a night. Whereas, if you stay in a decent youth hostel in Paris, it will only cost you about $20 a night. For the price of a one-night stay at the Marriott, you could stay in a hostel for an entire week. My favorite hostel that I've ever stayed at was in Krakow, Poland. It was called Goodbye Lenin Hostel. I love this hostel because it had an unusual theme that not many other hostels had. It had a pool table and had family-style spaghetti dinners every night. For the few nights that I was there, I would play pool against a random stranger and we would talk for hours. While staying in Vilnius, Lithuania, with my dad, we met a guy named Cyril. Cyril told us that, even though he could stay in a hotel, he'd much rather stay in a youth hostel because he can meet cool people. A youth hostel has a much more dynamic atmosphere compared to a regular hotel. Instead of being secluded in your room, like in a hotel, in a youth hostel, you are constantly engaged with people all around you. Obviously, the price is not the only attractive feature of a youth hostel. It's also about adventure. In Tallinn, Estonia, my dad and I stayed in a hostel called the Sleeping Maris that pretended to be a bar. The owners of this youth hostel made it look like a rundown bar, when instead it was a thriving hostel, so they wouldn't have to pay high taxes. When we arrived, we had to pay in cash so that the transaction could not be traced. Once we had paid, we were led down a dark hallway, and I soon began to think to myself, this is when they're going to harvest my kidneys. We were led to a hole in the wall the size of a large suitcase. After squeezing through this hole, to our relief, we were amazed to see a large common area with young people reading books and typing on their computers. I was surprised at the level of secrecy this hostel maintained didn't make anyone feel uncomfortable. Staying in a hostel is also about getting along and communicating with others. In a youth hostel, you are forced to talk to people whether you speak their language or not. There's always someone in your personal space, whether this means someone sleeping in the bunk above you or brushing their teeth next to you. If you are a light sleeper, or if you like privacy, then staying in a hostel is probably not your cup of tea. Sometimes people turn on a light at 3 a.m. as if it's their own private room. I've seen all sorts of strange things in youth hostels, from drunk Germans after the World Cup singing Frank Sinatra at 4 a.m. to being yelled at by an old Russian guy because I opened a window to air out his stinky laundry. The experience in every youth hostel is always unique. On the contrary, when you stay in a regular hotel, you can count on it that there will be a phone next to your bed and that no one will be snoring in the bunk above you. Staying in a hotel can be boring. After you stay in a hotel, you won't have any funny stories to tell or experiences to share. Yes, staying in a youth hostel can sometimes seem like playing a game of Russian roulette, where you never know what you're going to get, but this is all part of the fun. I'm not saying hotels in general are bad. I'm just saying that if traveling is about adventure and experiencing different cultures, then staying in a youth hostel is the only way to get this. So after all, why youth hostels? Well, it's a different experience every time. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and in the case of smelling socks in your face, it's ugly. But life is like that too. Without experiencing its different shades, how can you say that you've lived fully? Therefore, travel often and travel on the cheap. Be open to adventures, and hostels give you just that. Thank you. Announcements are next.